Ever see a brand new bridge, a towering skyscraper, or a huge public works project, and just wonder how? How did someone decide, yep, let's spend millions, maybe billions of dollars on this? Well, we're going to pull back the curtain on that because there is an incredible journey that takes an idea from a simple thought to a full-blown action plan. So, here's our roadmap. We're going to start with the big, tough money questions. We'll get into the weeds of how you even compare money today versus money years from now. Then we'll see how that one final go or no-go decision gets made. And from there, we'll jump into what happens next, making it official, breaking down all the work, and, of course, dealing with the most important part of any project, the people.
Everything kicks off with this one simple but massive question. Before a single dollar is spent, before anyone even thinks about a timeline, somebody has to prove that this whole thing is actually a good idea and not just a colossal waste of money. Let's make this real. Imagine your city comes to you and says, "We want to build a new library information system. It's going to cost a ton of money up front, but the payoff? Better access to knowledge for the whole community, benefits that will stretch out for years and years." So how in the world do you weigh today's massive cost against tomorrow's scattered benefit?
And this is where it gets tricky, right? You look at a timeline like this, you've got this huge cost today, then smaller costs trickling out, and this steady stream of benefits coming in. It's just a jumble of numbers all over the place. You can't just add them up. So how do decision makers cut through this kind of mess? Well, they don't use a crystal ball. They use a really smart framework called cost-benefit analysis, or CBA for short. This isn't about gut feelings. It's a structured, systematic way to line up all the good against all the bad and see which one comes out on top. Now, a full CBA is a pretty intense 9-step process. It covers everything. But for right now, we're going to zoom in on what I think is the financial heart of the whole thing, figuring out how to compare money across time to make that final, critical decision. But hold on, before we can start comparing any of those numbers from our library project, we have to agree on one of the golden rules of finance. And it's this. A dollar in your pocket today is worth more than a dollar you're promised a year from now. Why? Because you could take that dollar today and invest it. And that brings us to a really important idea. And that idea is called discounting. It sounds complicated, but it's really just a way to translate future money back into today's dollars. It's the magic trick that lets us take that $100,000 benefit our library might get in 5 years and figure out what it's actually worth right now. It lets us compare apples to apples. Let's look at a super simple example. A city spends $10 million today, and in return, they're guaranteed to get $11 million 1 year from now. Looks like a clear win, right? $1 million profit. But is it a good deal? Well, that depends entirely on the interest rate they could have gotten somewhere else. And all this talk about discounting and present value leads us right here, to the ultimate tool for making the final call. After all the spreadsheets and all the analysis, it all boils down to one single powerful number that gives a clear go or no-go signal. And that number is called the net present value, or NPV. The formula is actually really simple. You take the present value of all the good stuff, the benefits, and you subtract the present value of all the bad stuff, the costs. And here's the rule. If the number is positive, even by a penny, the project is a go. It creates value. If it's negative, you run away. And this shows the transformation perfectly. On the left, we've got those future dollars that are kind of hard to compare. But then, bam, you apply discounting, and you see on the right that the $11 million benefit next year is only worth about $10.47 million today. You subtract your $10 million cost, and you get a positive NPV. It's a good deal. That's it. That's the golden rule. It's the clear, objective, data-driven signal that everyone's looking for. It just cuts right through all the noise and gives you a straight answer. So, back to our library project. After all that work, after discounting all those costs and all those benefits over 5 long years, where did we land? The net present value comes out to a positive $17,276. It's not a huge number, but you know what? It's positive. It's in the black. The project gets the green light. All right, so the money is approved, the numbers work, but you can't just start building things. The project has the green light, but what happens now? Well, the very next step is to make this whole thing official. And you do that with a document called a project charter. The easiest way to think about this is that it's the project's official birth certificate. It's the piece of paper that says this project now officially exists. And, maybe even more importantly, it gives the project manager the authority to start spending that money and building a team. And you can see right here exactly where it fits in the big picture. The charter is the bridge. It's the official handshake that moves a project out of the, hey, that's a good idea phase, and into the, okay, let's actually start planning this thing phase. So the project is official, but the team is now staring up at a huge mountain. The goal, build a new library system, is massive. How do you even begin? You do it by breaking that huge goal down into tiny, manageable pieces. But first, you have to be absolutely crystal clear on two different types of scope. First, there's product scope. That's what you're building, all the features and functions. Then there's project scope. That's how you're going to build it, all the work that has to happen. Confusing these two is like a classic rookie mistake that sends projects spiraling. So how do you actually organize all that work? The number one tool for this is the Work Breakdown Structure, or WBS. It sounds kind of corporate and fancy, but the idea is actually incredibly simple. You just take the main goal and you keep breaking it down into smaller and smaller pieces until you have tasks you can actually assign to someone. And this is a perfect way to visualize it. You don't just build a house. You start with the house, then you break it down into things like site prep, foundation, framing, and on and on. You can show it as a simple list or a cool chart like this. The format doesn't really matter. It's the thinking that counts. Okay, so we've got the money. We've got the official charter. We have a beautifully detailed plan of every single task. We are done, right? Ready to go? Not even close, because we have completely ignored the most complex, unpredictable, and important part of any project, the people. I mean, just look at this. On any project, there is this massive web of people involved. We call them stakeholders, and it's basically anyone who can affect the project or is affected by it. And as you can see, it's not just the team and the sponsor. It's suppliers, government agencies, the public, even the neighbors next door. Real success isn't just about the budget. It's about keeping all of these people on board. So there you have it, the hidden journey. From that one single question, is this even worth it? All the way through the math, the official documents, the detailed plans, and, finally, to the complex web of people who make it all happen. It makes you look around and wonder, doesn't it? What invisible projects are going through this exact process right now, getting ready to shape the world around you?